Thank you, Mayor, Council. Bob Weeks, 2451 Regency Lakes Court in Wichita. So here again, the occasion of renewing the contract for the Go Wichita Convention and Visitors Bureau provides another opportunity for this council to act to increase government transparency and the cause of open government. Now, in the past, I've argued that Go Wichita is, in fact, a public agency as defined in the Kansas Open Record Act, but the city has disagreed. And astonishingly, Sedgwick County District Attorney agreed with the city's interpretation of the Kansas Open Records Act. So let's put aside the law for now. Let's instead talk about public policy. Let's recognize that even if the law does not require Go Wichita and also the Wichita Downtown Development Corporation and the Greater Wichita Economic Development Coalition to disclose records, the law does not prohibit them from fulfilling records requests. And once we realize that these agencies can do it if they want to, the city can ask them to do it if the city wants to, we're left with these questions. Why does Go Wichita, an agency funded almost totally by tax revenue, want to keep secret how it spends that money, which we know is over $2 million per year? Citizens might wonder why the City Council is satisfied with this lack of disclosure of how taxpayer funds are spent. Citizens might wonder, why isn't Go Wichita's check register readily available online, as is, for example, Sedgwick County's checkbook? And for that matter, citizens might wonder, why isn't the City of Wichita's check register online? It'd be a simple matter for this council to declare that the city and its taxpayer-funded partner agencies believe in open government. All we have to do is the will to do this. Until then, people will wonder what it is we're hiding. And those are my remarks, and I'd certainly be happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Mr. Weeks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else who would like to speak on this item? Councilman O'Donnell?
Well, and maybe I need to wait until public.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item? Being that there is no one else, let's return the discussion back to the bench. Councilman O'Donnell?
Okay. Susie, could you come up to the podium for a second? And I just want to talk about what Bob brought up. Last year was the first year that Go Wichita had come before us, and I became aware of some of the issues that Mr. Weeks was referring to. Brought him up with your predecessor. In fact, it was ironic last year, Randy Brown, who's on the park board and definitely doesn't see the political spectrum the way Bob Weeks does, actually came and spoke in defense of what Mr. Weeks was saying. So you had, liberals and conservatives coming to the same question: is why some of these taxpayer funds aren't available for open records. Is that something that you'd be open to? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but it is concerning if people don't know where their dollars are going.
Councilman O'Donnell, I'll tell you what I know about this again, 4 months on the job.
That I'm not attacking you at all because
no.
yeah.
Looking at the ruling by the district attorney on April 8th of 2011, and that we are in compliance of Go Wichita with the Open Records Act, speaking to the attorney and knowing that there has not been any subsequent request put forth that we are aware of, and this has not been addressed in the past year. From my understanding of where I am at the information that I have, we are in compliance, and I'd have to, look further into that.
Right, and even if you are in compliance by that office, is that something that you would be open to expanding, or are you happy with that?
It's beyond my pay grade. I am not the attorney, and I would have to, reach out and speak to our attorney. And again, I would just honor what's already been ruled as a finding through the district attorney.
Right. I understand that, and I think there's lots of things that come across our desk that we don't have to. I know that the city manager's worked with me on things that we've tried to be more than exposed on some issues, even not abiding by the rule of law, but allowing taxpayers to know more. So that was my question. I'll probably talk to you about it in another setting later. And Bob, could you come up to the podium now? Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, based on Ms. Santo's testimony, did So there haven't been any further requests on your part about
Not
getting...
that I've made, no.
Okay, so what you're referring to is what happened last year or before?
It's been about 3 years ago, I think it
Okay.
was. So, but, you know, since then, there's been rulings, you know, and much discussion at this council that really reinforces their position, I think, as she just said, that we are in compliance. We don't have to answer to these records requests.
Okay.
It still begs the question, they still could if they wanted to.
Right, and that's what I asked and said that I would, you know, follow back up with that, because I agree about sunlight being on these issues. Are you, since we are getting a new district attorney, are you prepared to go and approach Mr. Bennett on this?
Oh, no, we're going to rely on you to change the law in Topeka, Senator-elect, so that this is not hidden from taxpayer view anymore.
Okay, okay, nothing big. Thanks, I'll put
You're
that on my
welcome.
shoulders. So, thank you, Bob.
Councilman Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Weeks. I just want to ask, have you had the opportunity or taken the opportunity to call Ms. Santos and over here, and talk to Ms. Santos? Have you been in to speak with her at all?
No, I haven't, because, no, I haven't. So I'll make a records request. Let's see what happens. How about that?
But also
I think
to
she's
thank her for
talking
coming from
about
which,
you going and physically
Absolutely.
sitting down with her and talking to her.
just a conversation. I mean, not to demand this or to demand that, but I mean, welcome to Wichita, and by the way, can I or can we? Just along those lines. I'm just asking.
I don't think I really demanded anything. I've asked, which is...
You had a nice ask. Thank you. ASK.
Is there anything else?
That's enough for me today.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Mayor.
right.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Oh, boy. Okay. Is there anyone else? The manager saying, move this along. Okay, seeing no one else, we'll bring the discussion back to the bench. Is there any additional discussion? Councilman Meitzner?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Susie, I apologize for you to be a pawn in the policy game. There's legal backgrounds, policy issues, as you say, and for you to be, with bringing your credentials and your commitment and your passion and your heart to our city, it's incredibly unfair that you get drawn into something like this. Jeff Floor has experienced the same. This is a deal with the state attorney general, district attorneys. I'm sure when you were getting interviewed, they didn't ask for your legal prowess as a qualification to be the leader of Go Wichita and what you've done. And your presentation was outstanding. You've taken our level of the city a grade up. And unfortunately, there's occasions where some people want to use great people like yourself, and Jeff Floor is pawns in a very tumultuous environment. So please don't be detoured by that. And I'm sure it's not a personal attack on you, or as Jeff Floor experiences, not a personal attack on him either. But unfortunately, your name gets drawn in. So keep going, and thanks for helping make our city a better place. You're going to do a great job.
I would have to say Pete pretty much said it all. Okay, with that being said, I move that the City Council approve the contract.
Second.
Heard the motion. It's been properly seconded. Are there any questions? Questions? Madam Clerk, prepare a ballot. As your vote, Madam Clerk, display for the record. Passes 7-0. Thank you, Susie.